They say nuts are a superfood, and for years that's been true for the right age group. But after 60, the story changes. You might think you're making a heart-smart choice by grabbing a handful of mixed nuts every afternoon. Protein, healthy fats, natural energy. Sounds perfect, right? But here's the catch. Not all nuts are created equal, especially as we age. Some can actually undermine your blood pressure, memory, and even kidney function without you realizing it. I've worked with countless vibrant older adults who did everything right. They followed advice, ate healthy, stayed active. Yet they walked into my clinic feeling foggy, fatigued, and frustrated. One of the most overlooked culprits, the very nuts they were eating every day. Food, especially after 60, becomes much more than just fuel. It's either medicine or poison, and when we're not careful, the foods we once trusted can slowly chip away at our health. That's why in today's guide from Healthy Hues Wellness, we're pulling back the curtain. You'll learn which 4 nuts might be quietly sabotaging your well-being and the 4 that can actually help you thrive, supporting your heart, brain, blood sugar, and sleep. Let's start with one nut that's an absolute game-changer: Brazil nuts. This isn't just a healthy snack, it's practically a multivitamin in its shell. Let me tell you about Frank, a retired bus driver from Chicago. Years of long shifts had left him drained. He chalked it up to aging. But the real culprit, a deep selenium deficiency, that's a mineral you don't hear about much yet. It's essential for hormone balance, memory, and metabolism, especially in men over 60. Frank had tried everything: supplements, powders, new diets. Nothing worked. Then we tried something simple, just 1 Brazil nut a day. Within 2 weeks, his energy came roaring back. His skin looked brighter, his mind sharper. He walked in with a smile and joked, "Doc, I don't know what's in that nut, but I feel alive again." Here's why. 1 Brazil nut delivers more than 130% of your daily selenium needs. Not in some lab-made tablet, but in a natural form your body knows how to use. Selenium helps activate thyroid hormones, the very hormones that regulate your metabolism, mood, and even weight. It also supports testosterone production, which naturally declines with age. That means more strength, better sleep, and yes, even more vitality in the bedroom, all from a nut the size of a marble. But there's more. Brazil nuts also feed the myelin sheath, the protective coating around your nerves that helps keep reflexes sharp and movement smooth. When that sheath breaks down, everyday tasks like standing up from a chair or turning the steering wheel start to feel like a challenge. Even your thoughts can start to slow. But with healthy fats and selenium, Brazil nuts help keep that nerve insulation strong and responsive. Here's the important part. More is not better. Too much selenium can lead to toxicity. Things like fatigue, brittle nails, and nausea. 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day is perfect. Store them in the fridge, ideally in their shells to keep them fresh. And chew them thoroughly, because even nature's best gifts need proper digestion to work their magic. Think about that 1 small nut with the power to recharge your metabolism, protect your brain, and support your hormones, all without a single pill. That's the kind of natural medicine we need more of. So what's next? Almonds, the familiar crunch, the gentle sweetness. Maybe you enjoy them in a snack mix or toss a few into your oatmeal. But after 60, it's not just about taste, it's about what they're doing inside your body. A quiet morning by the window, steam rising from a cup of tea and a small bowl of almonds within reach. It's a scene many of us recognize. For years, my father made this his morning ritual. He'd tap the side of his cup, reach for a few almonds, and tell me, "These little things keep me sharp, son." I used to smile at what I thought was just a charming habit, but now science has caught up with his intuition. Those almonds weren't just a snack, they were part of his secret to staying strong and mentally agile into his later years. Almonds are more than a crunchy treat. For people over 60, they become a simple line of defense against 2 of aging's biggest challenges: brittle bones and declining memory. Let's talk about bones first. After 60, bone density naturally starts to decline. The result: higher risk of fractures, slower healing after injury, and a gradual loss of mobility that can steal independence over time. Just a quarter cup of almonds gives your body around 100 milligrams of calcium and 80 milligrams of magnesium. That's an important duo. Calcium builds bone, but magnesium acts like a traffic cop, guiding that calcium into your bones, where it belongs, instead of letting it build up in your arteries and contribute to stiffness and cardiovascular risk. Most snacks can't offer this unique combination, but almonds can, making them a smart, natural habit that supports skeletal strength with every bite. And you don't need to eat a mountain of them. 10 to 15 almonds a day is enough. That's it. Make it a part of your morning rhythm. Maybe while the tea steeps. Maybe as you read the news or water the plants. Choose raw or dry roasted unsalted almonds. Chew them well so your body can absorb the full range of nutrients. If your teeth are sensitive, soaking almonds overnight softens them, making digestion easier while keeping the benefits intact. This small daily ritual can ground your day in nourishment and calm. Keep a dish of almonds next to your favorite chair. Pause before eating and enjoy each bite slowly. In just a few minutes, you've given your body the tools to protect your bones, sharpen your mind, and invite a sense of peace into your morning routine. You're not just eating a nut, you're investing in mobility, clarity, and a healthier future, one simple handful at a time. Now let's move to another remarkable nut, one that mirrors the very organ it helps protect. Walnuts. They resemble the human brain in shape, and that's more than coincidence. Nature often hints at purpose through form. Walnuts are one of the most powerful brain foods available, especially after 60. For older adults facing brain fog, forgetfulness, or emotional strain, walnuts offer an ally in the fight to stay mentally clear and emotionally resilient. Arnold, a retired football coach in his 70s, once shared his story with me. Since losing his wife, he struggled with memory lapses and a lingering fog of grief. One morning, he spotted a jar of walnuts on the kitchen counter. "I read they're good for the brain," he said, running his fingers over the folds of the nut. That quiet decision to take control, even in the face of loss, speaks to the quiet power walnuts offer. Inside each walnut is a concentrated source of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. Our brains rely on omega-3s to repair cell membranes and maintain the connections between neurons. These neural connections allow us to think clearly, remember names, follow conversations, and make decisions. With age, these connections weaken. But ALA helps reinforce them, preserving cognitive flexibility and protecting against the creeping fog that can dull our thoughts and memories. And it doesn't stop there. The thin, slightly bitter skin of the walnut holds polyphenols, potent antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier. These compounds help calm neuroinflammation, one of the hidden drivers behind cognitive decline and conditions like Alzheimer's disease. By neutralizing oxidative stress, walnuts help keep your brain cells functioning, your thoughts quick, and your memory strong. Clinical studies back this up. In a Journal of Nutrition study, seniors who ate about 1.5 ounces of walnuts daily for 7 weeks experienced noticeable improvements in mental processing speed and flexibility. They reported recalling names more easily, staying focused in conversations, and feeling mentally sharper overall. These weren't just lab numbers, these were real-life victories, small and meaningful. And there's another benefit. As we age, falling asleep becomes harder. Our bodies naturally produce less melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep. Walnuts, thanks to the melatonin found in their oils, offer gentle support. A small handful in the evening, 7 to 9 walnut halves, is enough to encourage restful sleep and more refreshing mornings. Just remember to store walnuts in the refrigerator. Their delicate oils can degrade with heat and light. And don't remove the skin, that's where many of the antioxidants live. Walnuts are nature's brain booster. They offer memory protection, better sleep, and emotional balance, all wrapped in a shell. They're not flashy, they're not trendy, but they work, and sometimes that's exactly what we need. Quiet strength, steady support, and the wisdom of simplicity. Next, we'll uncover a nut that may look harmless but could be the most dangerous for your health after 60. It's likely sitting in your kitchen right now, and you'll want to know why it's time to make a change. Arnold still sits by the window each evening, a small handful of walnuts resting in his palm. The years have softened his stride, but not his will. He tells me he feels sharper now, more focused, more present, more himself. The grief hasn't left, but the fog has lifted. His mind is no longer a stranger. That's the quiet power of a daily habit. One handful at a time, he's protecting the part of himself that matters most: his memory, his clarity, his identity. The next nut in our journey is often overlooked. It's not flashy, not trending on social media, and rarely featured in health headlines. But for those over 60, it might be the most underrated ally in your pantry: nut 4, pistachios. These small green gems hold surprising power over 3 of the most important functions for healthy aging: blood pressure, vision, and blood sugar control. I think of my grandfather. Each afternoon, like clockwork, he'd sink into his favorite armchair with a wooden bowl of pistachios at his side. I used to think it was just a comforting habit, but now I see the wisdom in that ritual. That handful of pistachios was doing more than satisfying his taste buds. It was protecting his heart, sharpening his sight, and giving him steady energy through every stage of life. Let's talk about blood pressure first. In just 1 ounce of pistachios, roughly 48 nuts, you get about 289 milligrams of potassium. That's more than many fruits and vegetables offer. Potassium helps relax the walls of your arteries, counteracting the effects of excess sodium and reducing stiffness. As we age, our sensitivity to salt increases, often driving up blood pressure. Pistachios offer a natural way to fight back, gently lowering hypertension without medication, but the benefits don't stop at your arteries. Pistachios also protect your vision. These nuts are rich in 2 powerful antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds gather in the retina, forming a natural defense against blue light and oxidative damage. They work like a built-in pair of sunglasses, helping to slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration. Whether you're reading a book, checking your phone, or spotting a familiar face across the street, these nutrients keep the world around you vibrant and clear. Afternoons can bring another challenge: unstable blood sugar and sudden energy crashes. Pistachios have a natural solution. With about 3 grams of fiber per ounce and a low glycemic index, they help slow digestion and reduce post-meal glucose spikes. That means steadier energy and fewer cravings. For anyone managing prediabetes or diabetes, this makes pistachios a powerful alternative to sugary snacks. They satisfy without sabotaging your health. There's also something calming about the act of eating pistachios. Cracking each shell forces you to slow down. It turns mindless snacking into a mindful pause. That small ritual helps you tune into your body, recognize fullness, and control portions naturally. No calorie counting, no guilt, just presence. Aim for about 1 ounce a day, 40 to 50 pistachios. Choose unsalted or lightly salted versions to keep sodium levels in check. And if arthritis makes shelling difficult, go for naturally open-shell varieties. Store them in a cool, dry place or in the fridge to maintain their freshness. Pistachios offer more than just crunch. They bring balanced nourishment and even a touch of therapy. They support your heart, protect your eyes, stabilize your energy, and encourage a slower, more intentional pace. In 1 small green shell, they deliver the power to help you feel more in control of your health, your habits, and your future. But while these 4 nuts can significantly strengthen your body and sharpen your mind, not all nuts are your allies. Some hide behind a healthy image, yet work against you from within. They may trigger inflammation, raise your blood pressure, interfere with medications, and cloud your thinking. It's time to expose the ones doing silent damage. Nut 1, peanuts. James served in Iraq. At 72, he still stands tall, eyes steady, posture straight. He stays active, pushes himself. But lately, his joints ache. His energy fades faster and his blood pressure keeps climbing, despite following his doctor's orders. He blamed age. But one day he asked me a simple question: peanuts are healthy, right? The answer is more complicated than it seems. Peanuts aren't technically nuts. They're legumes closely related to beans and lentils. They grow underground, not on trees, and their nutritional profile reflects that difference. While they may seem like a smart snack, especially because they're high in protein, Peanuts come with risks that many people over 60 don't realize. This is where we begin the next chapter 1 that uncovers the nuts to avoid and the surprising science behind why they might be silently sabotaging your health. Peanuts might seem harmless. For many, they're a childhood staple, a comfort food, a source of protein in a pinch. But the truth is, after 60, peanuts come with hidden risks that can quietly chip away at your health. Understanding this isn't about fear, it's about clarity. Because what you eat every day matters more now than ever before. Peanuts grow underground in warm, moist environments. That distinction matters. These growing conditions make peanuts more vulnerable to a group of toxic mold byproducts called aflatoxins. You can't see them, you can't taste or smell them. But they're there lurking in even the most polished store-bought varieties. Aflatoxins build up over time and stress one of your body's most vital organs, the liver. And with age, your liver's ability to detoxify naturally slows down. What you could tolerate decades ago may now tip the balance toward inflammation, fatigue, and long-term damage. Even if you feel fine after eating peanuts, there's another problem. Chronic low-grade inflammation. This kind of internal fire doesn't shout, it simmers. Over time, it contributes to joint stiffness, worsens arthritis pain, elevates blood pressure, and can cloud your thinking. For older adults already navigating memory changes or joint discomfort, peanuts can quietly intensify the struggle. Then there's the salt. Most peanuts in stores come roasted and heavily salted. A single handful can pack more sodium than your heart can handle in a day. For adults over 65, where nearly 2/3 already battle hypertension, this adds up fast. Every extra sprinkle of salt adds strain to a system already working hard to stay balanced. And what about peanut butter? Many reach for it in the morning thinking it's a wholesome spread. But most jars, even the ones labeled natural, contain hydrogenated oils and added sugars. These ingredients burden the liver and disrupt healthy metabolism. Peanuts are also rich in omega-6 fatty acids. In moderation, omega-6s have their place, but when they overwhelm omega-3s in the diet, they stir up more inflammation, slow circulation, and affect brain health. The result? Your heart memory and resilience weaken just when you need them most. If you take blood thinners, there's another layer to consider. Peanuts contain compounds that interfere with vitamin K absorption, that may throw off your medication dosage and increase the risk of internal bleeding. Managing multiple medications is already complex for many seniors. Peanuts add another risk factor to juggle, often without warning. Occasional peanuts aren't a cause for alarm, but daily peanut snacks after 60 demand a second look. What once served you well may now be standing in your way. Next is a nut that often wears a health halo: cashews. Creamy, delicious, easy to blend into smoothies or toss into trail mix. But beneath their friendly appearance lies a set of concerns that are especially important for aging bodies. Tracy, a 74-year-old grandmother, fills her kitchen with the smell of cookies for her grandchildren. She stays active, eats well, and chooses health-marketed snacks. Yet she finds herself struggling through long afternoons. Her energy dips sharply. She wakes up with bloating. Her blood sugar swings 3 times a week, sometimes leaving her dizzy or irritable. Cashews, it turned out, were a near-daily fixture in her meals. She smiled and said, "They're good for you, right?" Cashews are often marketed as a smart snack, and in moderation for younger adults they can be. But for people over 60, their composition can create more problems than benefits. For starters, they are unusually high in carbohydrates, around 9 grams per ounce. That may not sound like much, but for a tree nut, it's a red flag. This carb load can cause significant glycemic spikes, especially if you have prediabetes or diabetes. Around 1 in 4 seniors manage diabetes, and nearly half fall into the pre-diabetic range. Those blood sugar surges, repeated over time, damage blood vessels, drain your energy, and can lead to nerve problems. But cashews have another hidden ingredient: oxalates. These naturally occurring compounds bind to minerals like calcium in your digestive tract. That means calcium you consume alongside cashews may pass through your system instead of being absorbed. For those worried about bone strength, this matters. Calcium supports more than just your skeleton. It keeps nerves firing properly and muscles functioning. Every bite of high oxalate food like cashews can slowly chip away at that foundation, and it doesn't stop there. Cashews are often added to health snacks. Granola bars, protein blends, nut butters, making it easy to consume them in large quantities without noticing. For aging adults, this overexposure can increase the risk of kidney stones, disrupt digestion, and even pose a choking hazard due to their dense, waxy texture. When saliva production drops with age, or when dentures reduce chewing efficiency, cashews become harder to swallow safely. The bottom line: cashews are not the harmless snack they appear to be. For older adults navigating blood sugar issues, fragile bones, slower digestion, or kidney health, these nuts may do more harm than good. There's power in knowing what your body truly needs and what to step back from. While some nuts offer healing, others quietly steal vitality. In the next segment, we'll explore even more of these hidden dangers, starting with a nut that often appears in salads and snack mixes, but carries surprising risks for seniors. Stay grounded, stay aware, because every bite shapes your path to better aging. Oxalates are more than just a minor detail. When consumed regularly through foods like cashews, they interfere with how your body absorbs calcium. So even if you're eating a calcium-rich diet, much of it may never make it to your bones. And that's not where the damage ends. Over time, these oxalates can accumulate, and one of their favorite places to settle is in the kidneys. The result is the formation of kidney stones. Painful, dangerous, and in many cases completely preventable. Many older adults experience recurring urinary discomfort. It's easy to brush it off to assume it's just part of getting older, but few realize that something as simple as a daily cashew snack could be contributing to it. The connection between food and kidney health isn't always obvious, but it's real and it matters. Then there's the risk you don't hear much about: choking. Cashews may look harmless, they're curved smooth and seem soft enough to chew easily. But for many seniors, the mechanics of swallowing change with age. The swallowing reflex slows and the muscles involved grow weaker. Cashews, because of their shape and sticky texture, are among the top nuts involved in choking incidents. Their creamy consistency can turn into a thick paste that gets lodged in the throat, especially if eaten too quickly or without enough fluid. There's also a lesser-known danger hiding behind the raw versions of this nut. Raw cashews contain urushiol, the same toxic compound found in poison ivy. That's why you'll never see truly raw cashews sold in stores. What's labeled as raw has actually been steamed or heat-treated to remove this toxin. But this safety step comes at a cost. The high heat processing strips away many of the nut's natural nutrients, leaving you with a highly processed product that falls far short of what whole foods should provide. So while cashews may feel familiar, even comforting, they come with a package of risks. Blood sugar spikes, mineral depletion, kidney strain, choking hazards, nutrient loss. If you've been keeping them in your pantry, it might be time to consider a healthier switch. Almonds and walnuts, for instance, offer stronger nutritional benefits, better omega balance, and fewer hidden dangers, especially for adults over 60. Now meet Joe, a 72-year-old retired physicist. Precise, disciplined, always in control. But lately he's noticed something changing. His waistband is a little tighter, his blood pressure's inching upward, and most nights he nods off in front of the television even when he's not tired. He's puzzled. His habits haven't changed, or so he thinks. Except for one, his daily treat, a small bowl of macadamia nuts. They're supposed to be heart-healthy, right? Macadamias carry a reputation of luxury and wellness, rich, buttery, smooth enough to melt on the tongue. You see them on the shelves of premium health food stores. Influencers praise them. The word superfood gets thrown around. But beneath that elegant image is a heavy nutritional load that can quietly derail your health goals. Just 1 ounce of macadamias, about a dozen nuts, contains nearly 200 calories and 22 grams of fat. For a body that naturally burns fewer calories after 60, that's a calorie bomb in disguise. especially when that handful doesn't leave you full. Subtle weight gain creeps in slowly until your jeans feel snug and your energy lags. It happens silently without fanfare, but it adds up. And it's not just about calories. Macadamias deliver about 3 grams of saturated fat per ounce. Saturated fats raise LDL cholesterol, the kind that clogs arteries and increases heart disease risk. For those managing blood pressure or cholesterol through diet and medication, these fats can undo weeks of effort in a single snack. There's also a less talked about issue: gallstones. As we age, many of us develop gallstones without symptoms, but the high-fat content of macadamias can trigger sudden attacks, sharp abdominal pain, nausea, even emergency hospital visits. I've seen older adults ignore mild digestive discomfort for weeks, only to land in surgery after one indulgent handful. And then there's your mouth. Macadamias are dense. For anyone with Crohn's bridges or sensitive teeth, they pose a real risk. One bad bite can crack a crown or dislodge a filling. That smooth texture may feel gentle, but it hides the density that can lead to painful, expensive dental problems. Macadamias feel like a harmless pleasure, but beneath the surface, they deliver a triple threat: silent weight gain, cardiovascular strain, and oral damage. These issues don't hit overnight. They build gradually, but the effects are lasting. On your health, your mobility, your confidence, and even your budget. For most adults over 60, cautious avoidance or strict portion control makes far more sense than daily indulgence. There are safer, more nourishing ways to enjoy snacks that support your heart and mind without setting you back. And now we turn to a nut so small and oily it often slips under the radar. Few people think twice about it. But for older adults, it can interfere with the medications, distort your sense of taste, and even contribute to unintentional, dangerous weight loss. What seems like a simple, innocent nut can carry complex consequences. One's worth understanding before your next handful. Nut 1: pine nuts. Rose, a thoughtful 79-year-old who carefully tracked her supplements and enjoyed daily walks, began noticing something strange. Her morning coffee developed a sharp metallic taste. Plain water tasted off. Meals she once loved suddenly seemed unappealing. Her doctors ran every test: medications, digestion, hydration, all came back normal. Then she mentioned a batch of homemade pesto she had stirred generously into pasta. That recipe used extra pine nuts. What Rose experienced is known as pine mouth syndrome. It's a temporary but unsettling taste disturbance caused by certain pine nuts. It leaves a bitter or metallic aftertaste that can linger for days, sometimes even 2 weeks. While not directly dangerous, this taste distortion can have cascading consequences for older adults. When food doesn't taste right, appetite drops, hydration declines. Over time, this leads to unintentional weight loss, dehydration, and vitamin and mineral deficiencies. These seemingly small setbacks can snowball into frailty, lowered immunity, or even hospitalization. Taste is more than a pleasure. It's a vital signal that guides your nutrition. When it's disrupted, your health can quickly follow. But the concerns with pine nuts don't stop at taste. These nuts also contain compounds that interact with liver enzymes responsible for breaking down many prescription medications. For older adults relying on blood pressure medication, cholesterol-lowering drugs, or antidepressants, this interaction can cause medication levels to spike or drop unpredictably. It's a hidden danger few doctors discuss, and one researchers are only just beginning to understand. In older age, medication balance becomes a high-wire act. Small changes can lead to large effects. Pine nuts, with their potential to interfere with drug metabolism, can tip the balance and cause unexpected side effects or reduced effectiveness without warning. Another issue lies in their oil content. Pine nuts are high in delicate polyunsaturated fats. These oils are vulnerable to oxidation, especially if the nuts sit too long on a shelf or are stored improperly. When these oils break down, they become inflammatory rather than anti-inflammatory. For seniors managing arthritis, cardiovascular concerns, or metabolic issues, oxidized oils can worsen stiffness, joint pain, and fatigue. And there's more. Pine nuts are small, smooth, and slippery. for someone dealing with dry mouth. A common side effect of medications, or a slowing swallowing reflex, even a single pine nut can become a choking hazard. It can slip past the tongue, enter the airway, and cause aspiration or blockage in a matter of seconds. What appears to be a harmless garnish on a salad or a spoonful of pesto can turn into a medical emergency. Taste distortion, drug interactions, inflammatory oils, and choking risk all point to one conclusion. Pine nuts are best avoided if you're over 60. They bring too many hidden risks and too few unique benefits to justify their place in your pantry. Choose nuts that nourish without complication. Almonds, walnuts, and pistachios deliver steady, proven support for heart health, cognition, blood sugar, and digestion. Let's bring all this home. You've learned which nuts defend your energy, clarity, and longevity, and which ones quietly erode them. Brazil nuts support your thyroid and testosterone. Almonds strengthen bones and protect your brain. Walnuts feed your neurons and support sleep. Pistachios guard your heart vision and blood sugar. These four belong in your kitchen, your routine, your life. In contrast, peanuts, cashews, macadamias, and pine nuts may look innocent but carry hidden threats. They inflame your joints, interfere with your medications, stress your organs, or disrupt your sleep and digestion. Swapping them out isn't about restriction, it's about protection. After decades working with adults in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, here's what I've seen. Aging doesn't wear you down. Repetition of the wrong habits does. Each day, each snack, each small choice either restores you or steals from you. And the difference often lies in the details, like which nut you reach for. What once energized you at 40 might now weigh you down at 70, but that same principle works in reverse. The right change can restore energy, improve circulation, support memory, and reduce dependency on medications. Take Maggie. She began eating just one Brazil nut a day. In 2 weeks, her afternoon fatigue disappeared. Her eyes looked brighter, her mood lifted. Or John, who swapped peanuts for pistachios. His blood pressure dropped. He was able to lower one of his medications with his doctor's approval. One small swap, one real result. Your body is listening. It's not done healing. It's waiting for your next choice. Before your next snack pause, remember what you've learned. Choose one change, maybe walnuts in the morning instead of macadamias, maybe almonds instead of cashews in your salad. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent. Health isn't just a number on a chart. It's being able to rise from a chair without hesitation. It's remembering a loved one's voice. It's having the stamina to finish a walk or laugh through a conversation. It's playing with your grandkids, cooking your favorite meal, and waking up ready for the day. You're not too old to feel strong, not too far gone to feel clear, not too late to feel alive again. Choose the right nuts. Give your body what it truly needs. Let the healing begin today. Your story isn't over, it's still unfolding one bite at a time.